Okay, let us focus more on understanding multidisciplinary and holistic education under NEP. So far, in the first session, we discussed what is NEP, how NEP evolved, and what are the basic principles of NEP, and what are the objectives of NEP. Now, to achieve these basic principles and objectives of NEP, what NEP strategy, what NEP has adopted a strategy that we will see now. The two pillars of NEP 2020 are holistic and multidisciplinary education. So let us try to understand what is holistic education and what is multidisciplinary education. Of course, while discussing the principles of NEP and objectives of NEP, we discuss little bit about what is holistic and what is multidisciplinary education. What we do in this session age, we elaborately try to understand the holistic and multidisciplinary education, and most importantly, under the NEP, how they are trying to implement and achieve the said goals, and what are the challenges which we are facing for achieving these goals through NEP 2020, and being the experience of 5 years, implementation of NEP. So, what kind of policy suggestion we can suggest? So these are the things which I am planning to discuss with you all in the second part of my lecture today. So once again, dear participant, please take part in the discussion. So please, switch on your video. I know most of your video is the switched up. You're not able to see anybody's face, and in our MMTC, it's compulsory that everyone should switch on their the videos. And as I said, if you have any questions, clarification, or you would like to add to the discussion, you can stop me at any time. Please feel free to ask the question. So let us understand the holistic vision of NEP. As I said, the holistic means development of all capacities of a learner. Earlier, we used to focus only a certain aspect of learner during his education. We used to make him, we are just, disseminating knowledge. Okay, in the broader context, the earlier education system was, more focused on knowledge, understanding the knowledge, and the knowledge, the merit used to based on the how much knowledge is posed. We used to quantify the knowledge in terms of testing, all kinds of things. So, but NEP focus on holistic education, that is development of all capacities. What it includes? So, development of all capacity includes intellectual capacity, aesthetic, social, physical, emotional, and moral growth. NEP focuses on these aspects along with skill and occasional training. So that is the reason. If you look at the curriculum design of NEP, you already undergoing NEP. If you are a teacher at college or university, already NEP curriculum is designed as per the NEP guidelines, where you notice the addition of new curriculum which focus on all these aspects. Along with the dissemination of knowledge, you can see all these things which have become part of curriculum. And other aspect of the holistic vision of NEP is integration of learning aspect. The learning aspect under NEP, combines cognitive and non-cognitive elements. And most importantly, as I said, the holistic approach of education includes skill and vocational training. It is very, very important that we have to make more employable of our educated youth. Today, employment opportunities are at global level. So India has a demographic dividend. India has the advantage of having huge educated youth population. But important challenge is how to make this educated youth employable at the global level. World is getting engaged. Europe is getting engaged. China is getting engaged. Japan, USA, where there is a difficulty of finding educated youth for workforce. So India has the advantage of sending its educated youth to the world, including to these nations. But training is required, skill is required to make these youths to global employable. So understanding this need, NEP made compulsory that you need to have a skill and vocational training as a part of curriculum. This vocational skill and skill and vocational training already started from the school level itself. You can see, you can have interaction with your the kids if they are going to children, or with the teachers at high school level, or if you go through the curriculum design of NCERT and other central government school, you can see how the curriculum is being designed. You will be surprised. AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning started from the class third, and artificial intelligence made as one of the important paper at the high school level. They have to study it compulsory. After studying the basics of computers at a very early stage, nowadays students are studying artificial intelligence in the MI at the school level itself. So that is what the beauty of the holistic education. Not only it focus on intellectual, aesthetic, social, physical, emotional, moral growth, it also adds skill and training. So what we try to do is balance between achievement and well-being. It is very, very important. We focus more on achievement in terms of their score, in terms of getting admission in expected college, expected stream. We expect our children, students to get engineering in IITs, medical. So we measure students, the performance in terms of his achievement. But NEP focus along with achievement, well-being. Ultimately, well-being of the student is most important. Ultimately, how happy he is. That is what, in the beginning itself, the NEP, that through holistic approach, try to focus how to be lead a peaceful, adoptable life in the society. Today, as I said in the beginning of my first part of my lecture, world is in disorder. There is so much of chaos in the world today. It's very surprised of the decision of the certain world leader, which they get changed at a very, very short time. Unexpected, such things never happened at the global level. To my knowledge, we never see such. Who is friend? Yesterday, friend has become enemy today. He's not happy about our policy. How to cope up with such thing? So for this, we need to have a education which focus on global citizenship, global welfare. Okay, so it is important to have balance between achievement and well-being. So ensuring academic success and overall well-being. So that is how the NEP curriculum is tailored, not only to have academic success, overall well-being is most important. Along with that, India's ethos, India's values are well tailored in NEP. These were missing earlier. We need to be proud of these things, that the NEP tried to bring our past glory to our curriculum. India had, India, will, and India present has the great cultural history, literature, unparalleled with, any country in the world. India has a rich civilization, rich heritage. The unfortunate that these are not recognized much at the English-centric world. India is rich its literature, its vernacular language. That needs to be respected. That needs to be brought to the global, platform. So through NEP, it tried to embrace India's rich cultural and intellectual history. I don't think explanation is required for this audience how India was culturally rich and intellectually good since many years. So let us define multidisciplinary. So far, what we have discussed is definition of holistic in detail, and now we'll see multidisciplinary education. What exactly multidisciplinary talks about? See, multidisciplinary talks about our main features of multidisciplinary education are number one, breaking the rigid boundaries. Today, prior to NEP, there were rigid boundaries. We uh, we never go and see the how the research or what kind of the things are going on in the other department. There is so much of we see compartments between the department. So, but NEP, it's altogether different. Dear participants, under NEP, there are no boundaries as such. A political science student study economic student study political. We have a multidisciplinary approach. Under single umbrella, all these disciplines across all social sciences, literature, medical, engineering, they're trying to bring in a single umbrella. So that is what it's learner-centric education. So one of the future of multidisciplinary education is breaking the rigid boundaries. No more, the silos of this thing. It encourages collaboration between different disciplines. You will see the question paper which consists of interdisciplinary subject. Earlier, a question paper only focused on a single subject. Economics means economics. History means history. Now, the days will come, the question paper will be of multidisciplinary approach, where you notice the questions being asked in on various subjects. Of course, there are challenges like valuation and knowledge of a teacher and all. There are we will see these things later. One of the major future of multidisciplinary is breaking rigid boundaries that encourages collaboration between different disciplines and promotes a holistic approach to education. As I said just now, that overall holistic development of a learner. Another, the future of multidisciplinary education is integration of humanities and social science. Even at the UG and PG level, under the multidisciplinary education, NEP combines diverse field of comprehensive learning experience, fosters critical thinking and creativity to make our students think critically and be more creative, be more innovative, and try to apply, the invention for the betterment of the society. Dear participants, I have been telling you that invention should lead to betterment of the society. The reason is looking at the today's geopolitics, the chaos in the world, and world is at a disorder that whatever invention which is being taking place over the years is it's not using for betterment of society. It is being used for destruction of the society by waging war, one country on another war and trying to snatch the other country's area, wealth, and destroying the other country. It's unimaginable to see that destroying the other countries, the citizens, their life, their children. It's horrible. So this is what the education should be, focus on certain ethical values. So the global citizenship. So our, the knowledge not should be disseminated knowledge should be applied in a development purpose that focus on the global, the peace and as I said, it should foster the harmony in the society. So the second part of the multidisciplinary, future of multidisciplinary education is integrating humanities and social science. Through this, the learner, through this, it is aimed that learners should have a critical thinking, creativity. And the the future of multidisciplinary education is flexibility in subject combination. See, there is huge flexibility is given to the student to choose his, the subject. For instance, economic students, if you want to study some part of medical for for betterment of his own health, there is a flexibility. He can, that kind of flexibility is there. Even if he wants to study more of required paper, even if he wants to complete two years degree in 1 year only, the university has to complete the syllabus and set the question paper. Dear friends, such kind of flexibility is already there at certain universities in the world. For instance, in a certain university in the world, if a student comes and says that, Professor, I'm ready for exam of 2 years master degree. I don't want to study the master degree for 2 years. I want to study master degree 1 year. Whatever paper you have, say 8 or 20 papers for 2 years master degree, I want to give it in 6 months only. Please give the question paper, syllabus. I want to write. Please, prepare a timetable to shoot to me that to complete the 2 years course in 6 months. That flexibility is there under NEP. And another flexibility of studying more papers. For instance, if a software engineer, computer science engineering students in IIT wants to study mechanical engineer, he wants to study civil engineer, papers of civil engineer. That flexibility is there. The civil engineering, for instance, if a mechanical engineering student wants to study some, the papers belongs to automobile. I mean, some other, the computer science industry, AI. So that flexibility is there. So these students are allowed to tailor their education to their interest. So, and supports personalized learning path. So, this is how the NEP is learner centric because it supports personalized learning paths and allows students to tailor their education to their interest. So that is the reason it is called learner centric. And another, the future of multidisciplinary education is applied learning. Along with clear understanding of conceptual clarity and the applied learning is the focus. That is, connects theoretical knowledge to practical application. That is most important. See, whatever theoretical knowledge we have, they should have a practical relevance. They should apply it practically. Then only the purpose of education will be reached. If you study in the classroom theory and without thinking of its application, so what is the use of such education? And a lot of, it also talks about industry academic connectivity, where there is so much of lacking in this country. Another aspect of multidisciplinary education is development of multiple competencies. See, today students requires to have a multiple competency in the global world. They have to undergo certain additional training, which makes them more employable. For instance, economic students at UG and PG compulsorily undergo and improve skill in econometrics. So econometrics requires strong knowledge of computer science and mathematics and statistics, applied statistics, where he need to have a multiple competence. And the data science is emerging branches, which is popular, very much popular in many of the engineering colleges. Data science is where you require to study the skill theory and bring, combining these, come out with, the model, which has a lot of practical relevance. So, development of multiple competencies. Multiple competency, not only, have knowledge, communication skill, leadership skill, and required, the software skill, digital skill, marketing skill, all kinds of skill. No, we all come under multiple competencies. Then integration of various disciplines. That is another beauty of multidisciplinary. It combines humanities, art, STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Emphasis on comprehensive development. Okay. So these are all, the part and parcel of multidisciplinary education. As I said, the holistic education consists of learners' intellectual growth, aesthetic appreciation, social skill. This is also most important. Social skill in the workplace is very, very essential. You might have seen in the workplace how much energy we unnecessarily spend for unnecessary things, which doesn't add any to the institution and academically also. So much of conflict among the colleagues. So this adjustment, adaptability, so which we see in terms of social skill, are very, very important. So the holistic education includes intellectual growth, aesthetic appreciation, social skill, physical development. Good health is very, very important. Emotional intelligence and the spiritual quotient, moral values. Today, the during the selection, three things the employer would like to see in the students, along with his intellectual knowledge. Another two important: emotional intelligence and spiritual skill that are also taken care, while recruiting. So these are all part of the holistic education. Then these I have defined as holistic development defined, integrating discipline, that is multidisciplinary defined, and then see, our NEP has certain philosophical underpinning. So it has thoroughly the NEP before drafting under the leadership of Kasturi Rangan, they mapped the education system in other countries of the world. Most importantly, theoretical backing, historical backing of education system across the globe. So the philosophical underpinning in our NEP, you can see Western educational philosophy, Indian philosophical tradition, what we call concept of Gurukula, concept of Vidya, as ancient Indian knowledge system and India's historical education practices, and even modern approaches to education and 21st century skill requirement, skills needed for the modern world. All these are incorporated NEP. So NEP take care of all these things. Uh, so it also NEP also mapped the education system in other countries of the world. For instance, Finland's phenomenal based learning. In Finland, it focuses on real world phenomena. It's more of practical world. It encourages interdisciplinary learning. In Finland, they do not have very silos kind of studying what we see in our country. We study only, particular subject. But Finland focuses two things in their education: real world phenomena and encourages interdisciplinary learning. And the American universities, liberal arts model, they don't have the degree like BSc, the only UG program. The present present NEP is fully implemented, I think we cannot have a degree like BA, BSc, BCom. Only the nomenclature will be UG, undergraduate in commerce, undergraduate in economics, undergraduate in physics. Okay, post graduation in economics, post graduation in, there will not be like MA, MSc, all kinds of nomenclature will not be there in future if NEP is implemented full pledged. So in America, what we have is liberal arts model from American University, emphasizes broad-based education and promotes critical thinking and creativity. So that is the reason these developed nations are able to achieve so much of invention and innovation in all part of their, the economy. Then when it comes to Singapore's integrated curriculum combines various subjects into cohesive learning experience, focuses on holistic development. Then you have, global trends in flexible learning pathways, which adopts diverse learning needs. So this is how, by looking at all these, the education system at a global level, India under NEP trying to adopt to its own unique context. This is what called as adoption to India's unique context. As I said, through multidisciplinary approach in higher education, it creates new and exciting opportunity for students, develops rounded individuals. So try to reach the 21st century need, that is 21st century capacities in arts, humanities, language, sciences, social sciences. 21st century capacities in professional, technical, and vocational field. All these things are brought under a single umbrella. That is what multidisciplinary education. So the objectives of multidisciplinary education can be seen in these in itself. So creation of new opportunities. The overall objective of multidisciplinary education is to create new opportunities, enable students to explore various fields. So at present, we allow our student to explore only single field. So economics, only economics. So this NEP enables students to explore various fields across the discipline. Promotes innovative thinking and problem solving. The development of well-rounded individuals through holistic education. It encourages a broad understanding. Uh, the discipline fosters critical. Just a minute. Hello. Okay. See, the objectives of multidisciplinary approach, as I said, it creates new opportunities, enables students to explore various fields, promotes innovative thinking and problem solving, development well-ordered individuals, encourages broad understanding of multiple disciplines. As I said, now under the NEP, so much of flexibility. He can study medical science, some papers of medical science, some papers engineering during his learning path. Fosters critical 21st century skills, as I said already, in the certain curriculum of the school going children, they start studying these skills at a very early age. AI is already being introduced at the school level. Okay. Most importantly, multidisciplinary approach of education focus on inclusion of diverse field, the arts, humanities, language, social science, technical and vocational training. So what are the implemented strategy adopted by the NEP? That means what are the implemented strategy to reach its goal? Take the goal of multidisciplinary. To reach the goal of multidisciplinary, it's important to have multidisciplinary institutions. Already central government, establishing multidisciplinary institutions. You may be surprised in the multidisciplinary institution where you find medical college, engineering college, arts, commerce subject, everything under a single umbrella. In the same campus, you have all medical college, everything will be available in the same campus. Where such facilities are available, students can have the experience of studying the other discipline as well. For instance, as I said, literature students can study science subject. In some portion I'm talking about. See, so certain portion, there is a flexibility of that certain portion of his syllabus can be designed to make the students to study all other discipline. So at least one multidisciplinary institution in or near every district. Of course, achieving this goal is really challenging, but the already some multidisciplinary institutions started coming up. So it is aimed to have at least one multidisciplinary institution near every district. Creation of higher education clusters. Through NEP, it is aimed at to have a higher education institution clustered. Where you can see if a multidisciplinary institution is not possible in a single campus, at least for instance, Dharwad city, make Dharwad city higher education cluster. So where all the institutions are established within the range of say 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers, or 6 kilometers, where students can move to study from one place to another place. So establishment of model universities. So focus on multidisciplinary education research. The under NEP, the many model universities have been set up. Okay, where focus on multidisciplinary education and research. So other implemented strategy is important is governance. Dear, the participants of this course, there is an overall change in the regulatory mechanism of higher education system in this country. The days will come, there no more UGC, no more AICT, and no more, Medical Council of Education, NCT and all. there will be single regulatory body called Higher Education Commission of India. Already the bill is being placed before the parliament. I think within very few days, if this bill passes and gives the president, assent and become an act, you will find the change in the regulatory mechanism of higher education in this country. So, Higher Education Commission of India is the highest regulatory body in this country. The Higher Education Commission of India comprises four verticals. First one is to regularize the higher education institution. There will be National Higher Education Regulatory Council. So the day-to-day regulatory, the regulatory mechanism, there will be National Higher Education Regulatory Council. So like UGC, it regulates higher education institutions. Okay, what UGC does today? So UGC regulates the higher education system in the country, and AICT in engineering, medical and council in medical, all these things will be clubbed and brought under Higher Education Commission of India and called National Higher Education Regulatory Council. So its role is regulatory higher education. Its role is to regulate higher education in this country. And second component consists of National Accreditation Council. Its role is to accredit higher education institutions. And the third one is Higher Education Grant Council, provide research grants. There will be single research grant agency in this country. I mean, not only research, even other aspect also. All education grants from the will come under single window. Today you have UGC, today you have ICSR, and you have IC Indian Agriculture Council of India, you have AICT, all these things will be merged. And you have science and technology, or many research funding agencies are there in this country. All will be removed and will be brought under Higher Education Grant Council, which manages funding and grants to all higher education institutions in this country. Then the fourth one is General Education Council. Its role is to set the standards. Its role is to maintain quality education. So the General Education Council, sets standards for general education. So what we notice is there will be complete revamp in the regulatory mechanism in the higher education arena in this country. So here there are many questions before us. What is the role of the state government? Because education comes under concurrent subject under the constitution, where state has also its say, and most importantly, all the state higher education institutions, state public higher education institutions are funded by the state government. So when these are funded by the state government, respect to state government, and they want to have their own say in terms of appointing vice chancellor, in terms of designing curriculum, in terms of controlling these higher education institutions. And on the top of it, the center has its own regulatory bodies. So there are many conflicting interests already we see between the Karnataka and many southern states with the central with regard to implementation of NEP and how to bring the uniformity. The regulatory body expect that the courses, the nomenclature must be uniform. So Karnataka cannot have a different degree structure than northern states. If that happens, when the students of Karnataka apply for central government jobs, where the problem comes. If the certain states are not adhere or implementing problems of central regulatory bodies, the direction, then the state respect to state government students when it comes to getting job at a central level or applying for admission in other institutions, then there is a huge problem. So these are the various challenges which we are noticing already, and so with this, I expect certain questions. Of course, I will continue. So if you have any questions so far, whatever discussed, because I have made you to the new things in the second session, if I'm correct. So if you have any questions, please, or you can add if you feel to add to the discussion. Yes, please. Any questions?
Sir.
Yes, please.
Why not the central government take higher education completely?
Why central government?
Central government can take higher education, lower education for the states.
So your suggestion is that central government should completely take the yes. See, the state government is happy
so that
to give.
so that it can be uniform for all of the country, throughout the country.
Yes, the state governments are also interested. State government are saying that if you want to take everything, including financial responsibility. See, you make us to you ask us to bear the financial responsibility 100%, and rest of the thing you want to have a say on it. This is what the
Central government should hold some amount from the states.
Yeah, it's a good suggestion.
GST, whatever the GST which is collected, and so some amount should be kept for that higher education.
Yeah, you are 100% right. There is so much of the cess that central government is getting. Cess on petroleum, cess on income tax, cess on this.
So that there
So the total amount from the cess to central government is 8 lakh crores. That is 2 times of Karnataka state budget. So as you have suggested, I think the central state government will be more happy if entire thing higher education institution taken by the central government. Already our higher education minister has said that if you want to they are most happy to take financial responsibility also. Yes. So any other questions from the participants? So you should take part, you should ask questions. Okay. So we are all part and parcel of higher education system. I hope.
Sir. What about sir JEE, NEET, CET exams, sir?
No. See, implementation of NEP, it takes time. Okay. So those things will be there. You cannot expect a drastic change, because state government definitely would like to have their own say, because it is all state higher education institutions are financed by the respective government. Okay.
In Tamil Nadu, sir. In Tamil Nadu.
Okay. Yes, in Tamil Nadu. You are saying something?
Sir.
Yes.
ಈ ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ ಈಗ ಅವರು ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತಿದಾರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡವರು.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಹಂಗ ಬೇಡನ್ನಾಗ ಬರುದಿಲ್ಲ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ. ಹಂಗ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟರಿ ಬಾಡಿ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಮುಂದ್ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಆಗ್ತಾವ. ನಾ ಹೇಳದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ನಾಳೆ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ಜಾಬ್ಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಇದು ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮಿಟಿ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಎಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಡಿಗ್ರಿ UPSC ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಬೆಟರ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯೂನಿಫಾರ್ಮಿಟಿ, otherwise it will be problem.
ಸರ್ ಈಗ ಫಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್? ಫಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಹೆಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್?
ಫಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅದೇ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಹೈಯರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಟ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಈಗಿನ ಫಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತೂ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಮೋರ್ ಫೋಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ UGC is more focusing on central government institutions. They are not giving any grant to the there is a certain schemes like PM Usha atara idav. We will see. These are all we wait and see. That is the thing. So but there is a overall change in the regulatory mechanism in the higher education system. bill is already placed in the parliament. Within few days, I think maybe in this ongoing session, this bill maybe get passed.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Sir,
Here
good
there.
afternoon. This is Dr. Rekha from Jain University. Actually, I have
Okay.
a small doubt, sir.
Hmm.
Here, actually, we are speaking so much about NEP and all from 2, 3 years, but
No.
how is it effective for current generation students? Uh, as there is a lot of flexibility and multidisciplinary approach is there, but
Hmm.
whether it is applicable for all set of students, because some students are from rural background and all, if it is made uniform, some students may not have the seriousness. Actually, in our generation, when we were studying, if we want to complete SLC or degree, 3 years means even at any situation of time, they were thinking that 3 years I had to sit and study to get my degree. So if this
Yeah.
flexibility is there, I think for all category of people, it may not be suitable because there is no compulsion. They can leave it after 1 year. Uh, I sometimes it feels there is no compulsion. This generation people, we can't hold them in hand so that they have to complete a degree or this thing. So, what is your opinion, sir, on this?
Yeah, it's a good observation, Rekha madam. I also told in the beginning. In the beginning slide only I said one of the major challenges of NEP is it cannot be uniform because there's a large diversity in this country, rural, urban, regional,
Yeah.
and caste, creed, language. So to implement these things, these things need to be taken care. In the rural area, the students are not having knowledge of the computers. How do you make them to study AR? At the
Okay.
one hand, you have the central school students studying AI and ML, and in the rural area, they are struggling with writing ABCD. You live with, the studying computers and all. Even they are difficulty in having certain understanding certain numericals and writing the words and sentences. There is a huge gap,
Exactly.
urban and but
Yeah.
so at the one side, you say that NEP is having equity, gives access to each and everyone irrespective of reason, caste, and creed.
Yeah.
We say easily, but making reality, make our education universally accessible and bring equity component, there is a real challenge, but can be achieved. Doesn't mean that it is impossible, can be achieved, but they have to take seriously. So in terms of
Yes.
making
Yeah.
huge investment, the investment and the if you look at student teacher ratio, it is it's a most impractical. The teachers, government school teachers at the village, they are more busy with some other work rather than their teaching, So election duty, midday meal, and going to children house that to bringing drop out the
Yeah.
school children. They are more busy with these things, We
And
need
lot
to
of
have a
monitoring is required.
separate staff for all these things. And, for providing skill, there is separate staff. Of course, things are moving on. For instance, even Karnataka state government also, hired certain computer engineers at the school level who are teaching computer. And Karnataka government also, appointed certain, staff which focus more on skill, national, both center and state. But looking at the vastness of this country, as you have also observed, such things are very moving very slowly. But there is a need of, the requirement of what you call big push change is required. Okay, it's a good observation, Rekha madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, then let us move on. So, as I said, there is a complete overall regulatory framework in this country. So, the light but tight regulatory framework. And then, so coming to implementation strategy, particularly curricular reforms. So, curricular reforms are important. The task for better implementation of NEP. So, without good curriculum, you cannot have a the better implementation of NEP. So, as I said, we need to have these are the things when you prepare the curriculum. Like we need to have a flexibility in curriculum structure, as I said earlier. and we need to have a creative combination of disciplines in our curriculum. And we need to have, when there's a multiple entry and exit options, we need to design curriculum to suit. For instance, if a student, exit after 1 year with the UG certificate, we need to, design the syllabus and also taking care of the students who are moving ahead next to, next year, next to next year. And it's really challenging to design a curriculum which suits all the students who exit after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So we need to take care of all these things, so to support lifelong learning and also to have the flexibility in education timelines. And another the thing we need to look into academic credit bank system. So these student will have academic credit bank where he continues to earn the credit. After he earns a certain credits, the degree will be awarded to him. Even a 4-year degree can be completed under in 3 years if he achieves the required credit. And most importantly, integration of vocational education and bringing skill component in the education. And another important is bringing value addition curriculum. And all these things are really challenging. And the curriculum design and implementation is essential, very much essential for implementation of NEP. Okay. Then pedagogical innovation is very much required. We need to have pedagogy which are which focus on problem-based learning, project-based learning, collaborative learning, technology-enhanced learning, arts integration education, sports, storytelling. All these should be part of our, pedagogy. We need to take care of all these things when you prepare pedagogy under NEP. Just to spend 1 or 2 minutes on school education, there will be complete change in the school education in terms of administration and curriculum as well. We have 4 stages in the lower education. 3 to 8, 1, and 8 to 11, 11 to 14, and 14 to 18 years. Accordingly, these have been matched. So there will not be any strict division between different streams of education, and we try to integrate some various disciplines. Even in school education, you can see existence of holistic and multidisciplinary. Even in school education, there is a focus on incorporating local knowledge and context into the curriculum. So I don't want to spend more time on school education because we are all part and parcel of higher education. So we have been talking about multidisciplinary, holistic. Again, these are the components we need to take care while implementing NEP. These are the elements we need to incorporate and take care of, say, multiple exit and options, liberal arts education, vocational courses, undergraduate research. As I said, one of the beauty of NEP is, at UG level itself, the undergraduate research component will be added. If a student, as I said in the beginning, if a student studies the research component in his 4th year, he will be directly promoted to doing PhD if he scores certain, CGPA in his 4 years honors degree. And we need to take care of interdisciplinary centers and departments. So central government is already established certain multidisciplinary institutions where all disciplinary are brought under single umbrella. So the real interdisciplinary centers and departments are already set up. So what I try to say through this slide is, so what are the focus of these components? Multiple exit, efficiency level, what are the benefits of these things are well said. And how to bring these things in the curriculum pedagogy, that is another aspect. Not only bringing is not enough, even we need to, tailor such a way that these should be reached to the expected goal. That the transformation should take place in among the students, and expected outcome has to be seen in the after completion of the students, okay, of their education. So higher education, as I said, broad-based, multidisciplinary, and another aspect is specialization. Allows the students to focus specific area As I say, research component is well added, an interdisciplinary approach. These things we need to take. Then what are the challenges? Some of you have said that there are huge challenges of implementation of NEP. And one of the participant very well elaborated that how the rural students lag behind get benefit of NEP because of the things are entirely different in the rural area. Some of the challenges which are listed here are inadequate physical infrastructure. That is the real challenge of NEP. It talks about so much, but where you bring the fund, that is a real challenge. In earlier national education policy itself, it is being said that 6% of GDP is required. 6% of GDP should be invested in education. Today, even it's not 3%, including the center and state investment in education. Unless we give a big push in terms of investment in education, we cannot achieve expected the goals as being set under NEP. So insufficient school building facilities and teachers, even many schools are pathetic condition, lack of basic infrastructure. Even they have the difficulty of teaching certain basic things, and you just think of bringing AI, ML, all skills, vocational skill for such school student. So limited technological access, still accessible technology very weak in the certain certain regions, particularly rural area. So lack of computers and internet in schools. In a country like India, where it's a mass education, in fact, the crores of students study, but providing infrastructure is really difficult by the state. That I agree. State, it's very difficult from the both central and state government to fund required fund to these, because fund is required for other purpose also. It's not just the entire amount to spend on education. The governments have other responsibility as well. It is really challenging to find alternative sources of investment in education. So they also mentioned about, there is one chapter called financing higher education, financing the education. In the NEP big drop, there is a small write-up on financing education where they have silently mentioned there is a need to find the new source of financing the education, which includes CSR fund. In the era of liberalization, globalization, privatization, where the private participants is huge, and private participants are making huge profit. So there is a need of making certain regulations that a certain portion of their profit should be given to education. So that such kind of new things we need to explore. For instance, the government, some of you I brought, that central government through various cess is getting around 6 to 7 lakh crores. Why should this amount entirely spent on education, at least for a few years? So these are very, very crucial for, countries at a crossroad, in the sense of providing employment opportunity to educated youth and incorporating required skill to our educated youth to make them global employable. So achieve these tasks are not easy, where a big push by the state and central government are very important, and there is a need to find the new source of funding to this education sector. So these are possible, but we need to find the new ways. And another constraint, like funding constraint, as I said just now, and we have uneven distribution of resources across regions. Resources are not uniform across the country. Some regions are a bit rich in resources, and some regions are lagging, particularly northern states and northeast, where were difficult to find the good institutions. You find huge number of students from northeast. They come to southern part of this country for doing engineering and medical. Thousands of students you find. They come to this part for doing engineering and medical because there's a lack of quality education institution in this region. Politically, they are very vibrant. They have produced a number of prime ministers and many cabinet big names are from this region, but unable to have a good quality. Thanks to our ancestors in the southern part of the country, where you notice use the quality institution, education institution, where you find, and southern states have become model in many aspects to the northern states in terms of conducting. These are all inventions, CET, all kinds of invention of southern states, particularly Karnataka is the leading in this. So another constraints are the huge gap between policy vision and resource availability. We make so much of policy decision. We say in writing that this is vision, this is goal, these are the things we need to achieve by this time, and these are the expected things we need to have in curriculum, all these things. But is resources is available to do all these things? So when there was so much of force to implement NEP, where you bring the resources to implement all these? For instance, at one stage you say that skill should be there among students to incorporate a skill. If you do not have a computer, you don't have a single PC, still you are using blackboard with chalk and chalk piece and duster. So how do you expect to bring this huge skill in among the students? So there is a huge gap between policy vision and resource availability. And most importantly, as I said just now, the investment. There is a need of increased public investment. 6% of GDP education for continuously is very, very it's very essential. Other challenges are faculty. We have the faculty. There is also some problem with the teachers as well. So even though some those who are permanent and well placed are highly paid, still we find the zeal, the less zeal among the teachers to implement this NEP in spirit. So the looking at the existing skill among the teachers, it requires specialized training. Today we are all gathered to get a specialized training in terms of understanding what NEP is, in terms of creating awareness. So such kind of training are required in other aspect as well. Targeted training program and focus on current faculty members. And other challenges within the faculty is lack of interdisciplinary exposure. So we have limited exposure of studying cross-disciplinary learning. So if I am economics, I study only economics. I never try to see what kind of research is going on in the history department, political, sociology, although all come under the social science. So today there is a limit, lack of interdisciplinary exposure among the faculty. This is another challenging. This hinders the comprehensive education. Here really it is a challenge to how to break the boundaries, how to break our silos and make the multidisciplinary in true sense. That how can you have, for example, department of multidisciplinary? Okay, now we have Department of Economics, Department of Physics, Department of English. So another multidisciplinary, we need to have a department called Center of Multidisciplinary. Center of Social Science, Center of Development Studies, so Center of Natural Science, Center of Material Science, the Center of Nanotechnology. You see, so center of all such kind. We need to have such kind of the new departments in days to come, because these when it comes to awarding degree in future, you don't have degree like MA in economics. You cannot have such thing. You can have only master, master's degree in so and so. Sorry, you cannot have such kind of nomenclature in future. You will have UG and PG only. UG with major economics and minor statistics, UG with major physics and minor. Such kind of nomenclature will be there, in near future, provided if NEP is implemented in toto. The other challenge is like need for new pedagogical skill, the adoption of modern teaching methods, enhancing students' engagement, and other challenges are there is huge resistance to curricular changes. You can notice there is many teachers, resistance for the implementation, and limited research experience across disciplines. So when you talk about 4-year degree and with research component, so do you have a capable research background faculty in the colleges? In Karnataka, all the UG program are run by the colleges. They don't have the PG program. So do our teachers have the research experience to take care of research component of 4 years on a degree? And or they have how many teachers have with a doctoral degree and guiding ability? Most importantly, the research infrastructure or the research infrastructure is available for the colleges. So who wants to run the 4 years degree with honor? And another big problem which we see in the higher education system in this country is a faculty shortage in most of the discipline. That is another challenge. So other challenges, most important challenge, assessment and evaluation. How do you have a assessment method? See, we talk about so much skill component, holistic development, and we need to have all these things a curriculum. Well said. How do you make the assessment, and what kind of evaluation method you adopt? Today you have a traditional method of evaluation. Just I see the answer and give the marks, and grading will be given accordingly. His grades first class. But taking care of all these things, which I said, holistic, multidisciplinary. So how do I am professor of economics. When multidisciplinary approach came into picture, how am I capable of evaluating answer script, which consists of history, political science, sociology, economics, like high school teacher? So these are the other challenges, like how do you quantify certain assessment, as we quantify how to grade. So today what we have, traditional examination system need to be changed, and so evaluating interdisciplinary learning is another challenge. So we need to have a new assessment tools which takes care of all these things. So there is a need of development of innovative methods aligning with higher education, like ensuring assessment meet entrance requirement, and there will be stakeholder resistance. If you bring changes in all these things, there will be definitely resistance. NEP is a big drop. Its implementation is a process. Whatever implemented so far is only small portion of its policy document. There is a huge but certain private universities, certain private colleges, they are trying to incorporate all these things. For example, in Ajim Premji University, they don't have BA economics. They have UG program in development studies. They have a UG program in art and literature. They have UG program in drama. They have UG program in music. They have UG program in natural science. So the private universities are benefiting a lot under NEP, but still the state-sponsored higher education institutions are very slow in adoption of NEP. Then we have other challenges like prestige is associated with a specialized discipline. Still, we say that my subject is the better. The economics is better. History is better. So we tell our students, so you take history subject, don't take economics. You don't take physics. So still that stigma is there in our mind. Prestige associated with a specialized discipline, and the still narrow focus on job preparation. So we design the curriculum where we notice very narrow focus on job preparation. Very little emphasis on curriculum with focus on job preparation. Then we need to have a courses tailored to specific career path. So limited understanding of liberal education benefit. There is a resistance from the traditional academic departments. The traditional departments may resist the changes. They may not interested to come under single umbrella, the discipline, and preference for enabled established academic structure. So these are the real challenges of implementation of NEP. If NEP is implemented properly, what are the potential benefit? What are the potential impact? So this definitely will enhance the learning outcomes. So the potential impact are, it leads to development of cognitive flexibility, improved critical thinking skills, enhanced creativity and innovation, and better problem-solving abilities, holistic understanding of complex issues, improved student engagement and motivation. These are all expected outcome if NEP is implemented properly. Other potential impact relating to skill development. The impact of NEP on skill development are shown in this slide. So enhance communication skill. One of the component of NEP skill enhancement is bringing the communication skill at the user level itself. So there are certain courses which are designed to take care of improving communication skill. So definitely, if NEP leads to enhancing communication skill, in terms of ability to convey ideas clearly and effectively, and collaborative abilities. NEP talks about multidisciplinary, where it try to, supports the collaborative research and teaching and adaptability, versatility, ethical reasoning, that cultural component, and technical literacy, that is using technology, responsibility, and ethically. So these are all expected outcome of proper implementation of NEP. So other potential impact are, these are all already, I think I have said, maybe repetition, potential impact of the global competitiveness. Yes, NEP aims for global, making our students globally competitive. It is very important, there is a limited scope for educated youth in this country to search job. So there is huge opportunities which are available across the globe. As world is getting aged, they are finding it difficult to find the educated youth to work certain things where India has advantage. For that, we need to prepare our youth such a way that they are readily employable at a global level. So under the NEP, so these are the things which are the well said. So the potential impact at a global competitiveness in terms of alignment with global educational trends. As I said in the beginning, UGC and even our state government is also very aggressively, they are trying to make globalizing the higher education. They are very much pushing the make higher education of this country of more globally competitive. The many Western countries have shown interest to start their branches in this country. Western universities are showing interest to set up their branches. For instance, Oxford may start its branches in India. Many, the UK-based university already come out with the MO, already got the permission of the respective state government to start their branches. Such kind of integration will make the alignment with global education trends, and enhance employability of graduates, improved quality of research and innovation when you have the global component, better positioning in global university ranking. And when there is Western universities which are doing well, I think our state university, looking at their setup and all, they definitely will improve. These are all already well seen in other industry. I'll give one example and go ahead. You take telecom industry, which was completely monopolized by the government, central government. When the telecom industry was completely liberalized, where you can see huge efficiency, the huge change in telecom industry. There was I don't think I need more explanation how revolutionary took place in telecom industry, where the private, because of involvement of the private players, both Indian and abroad, made it telecom industry of this country more competitive, where the customers benefited a lot. Similarly, we expect certain thing to happen in higher education system in this country as well, because of involvement of these private players, both Indian or Western. We expect to bring similar change in the system also. The whole idea is to bring the efficiency, competitiveness in the system. If you bring the efficiency and competitiveness in the system, definitely things will be improved, where we'll become globally competitive. Today, many Indian telecom industry, you take, Jio, and there are many, the Indian telecom industry, they made a global name. If you go to African continent, many Indian, telecom industry have made a big name. So India has the potential. What I'm trying to say is India has the potential. We need to tap this potential by way of bringing proper policy. So where the the will is required among the policymakers, that is very much required. As we have seen in the sectors, you see the automobile industry. Today Indian automobile industry, how they are developing. You take Tata Motors, you take Bajaj. Earlier, Bajaj, to get one Bajaj scooter, I heard that they used to wait for 2 years because of lack of competition and lack of efficiency. Today, you can see when there are huge players in the automobile industry, both Indian and Western, you can see changes in it. How India has become name in the global market. So we need to have a similar changes in education also. So this is what we are expecting from NEP, that India has a global knowledge superpower and the huge potential is there. There is a need of increased international collaboration. All things should happen. China is doing very well and aggressively, but compared to other nations of the world, India need to little bit move faster compared to the present very slow in terms of having all these things. Then there are certain policy recommendations. Some have already said, and adopt a phased implementation approach. NEP cannot be implemented in one stroke. So if huge time is required for complete implementation of NEP, so we need to implement, NEP in a staged manner, and we need to increase targeted investment in education. This is very, very important. So basic infrastructure has to be created by the government. It's not possible from any private player to create basic infrastructure and develop clear implementation guidelines, provide detailed instruction for, create model multidisciplinary institution. See, when it comes to education, government institutions should be the price setters. They should provide quality education with reasonable price. Definitely private players will look at the government institution to set their own price. The problem with present higher education system is the pricing is not competitive. So it is all happening because of collusiveness of certain private players. They are collide each other, fixing the high prices. The prices which fixed in the higher education, particularly the private higher education, it is not a competitive price. The price is through collide. They have together, they're fixing price. In this regard, it is important on the part of the state government, you have higher education institution, including the primary education, have a quality education where there should be huge demand to enter into the government education system. If the education system in the government sector is offering the quality education, I don't think the people will move to the private sector. The reason why the people are inclined into private sector is there is a lack of quality of education in the government sector. So this we need to look into seriously, and if the government improves its quality and becomes a role model and becomes a price setter, other players also try to set their prices up looking at the government prices. So such things should happen, and we need to have established monitoring mechanism and promote awareness among stakeholders and other recommendations. We need to have a continuous assessment of the implementation. Now, for example, 5 years already we have implemented NEP. What is the outcome and what is the lacuna? And we need to make the assessment at macro level and micro level as well. So we need to come out with what kind of policy suggestion required for another 5 years for proper implementation. So these are the things which I have said in suggestions. So I will share these slides to you all. So this is from my side.